My name is Greg Haxton. I'm from South Africa. About 18 years ago, basically I finished studying, and you know what to do, you want to travel the world, you want to learn something new, you want to check out new cultures, and I thought, okay, let me go and check out the rest of this world. And I asked one of my mother's friends, and she said to me her daughter went to a place called Taiwan. And I thought, okay, that sounds very interesting, let me check that out. So I looked on the internet to teach English in Asia, and Taiwan popped up, and I did the interview and I got the job. The funny thing about that is that in my head I thought it was it was Thailand that I was going to. I think that's a misconception that everybody has, thinking Taiwan is Thailand. And so in my head I'm thinking, the beaches, I do a bit of teaching, you go along the beach, sort of like a Leo DiCaprio movie kind of thing, right? Yeah, anyway, I ended up coming here, and I was meant to do 1 year, and that was 18 years ago.
How is Taiwan 18 years ago to Taiwan now?
A lot different to how it was 18 years ago. There was hardly any English, which was a big thing for foreigners to come here. They used to teach about cultural difference and how would you approach it coming from your culture to another culture. It's like, okay, you need toilet paper, what are you going to do? And they'll teach you, maybe, and then you tell people, oh, toilet paper, that's how you had to communicate. But as the years have gone on, the English has got better and better and better. And that's one thing I do really love about Taiwan, is that it's just not only looking inwards to making itself better, but also welcoming to people from outside and making it as easy as possible to live here, whether you're Taiwanese or whether you're from another country.
Being here 18 years, how is your Chinese?
I was hoping that you wouldn't ask me that question. I'm not going to say good, and I'm not going to say bad. I can understand a very minimal, but I think I used to think it was a South African thing. It's very hard for a South African to learn the language. That's what I used to think, but at the end of the day, it's all my fault. It's about getting down and learning. But I would say a sentence or two in Chinese to somebody, and they'll be like, huh? And then somebody next to me will say the exact same thing. They'll be like, oh. So I lost the confidence of speaking. And so I never reply back to people or ask people questions in Chinese, unless, of course, it's really needed. Remember, I'm an English teacher, right? Mm-hmm. So if my kid says something to me and I'm like, huh, in English, and then they're going to lose their confidence for speaking. So I will just continue, say it again, no, one more time, slowly, whatever. If you have a different approach towards somebody, but yes, it's definitely the confidence thing on my part. But I know lots of mates that will chat away in Chinese because from the beginning they don't care. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, well, I know I need to make that better, so they practice and practice and practice, which is what it's all about, right? But if people speak to me, I can pick up a certain amount of it. But that's one thing I'm going to change.
What are some of the benefits of learning Mandarin, or what are some of the downfalls if you don't learn Mandarin?
For me in particular, I'm probably going to live here for the rest of my life. And the worst thing for me at the moment is, I'm married to a Taiwanese lady, and she's fluent in English. She works with American companies, and so we speak English at home. My job, I'm a supervisor and an English teacher. We speak English at school and things like that. But Chinese New Year comes around, and I want to get closer to my family, my Taiwanese family, and it's all Chinese. The whole of the Chinese New Year, and I want to get involved, and I want to why they're laughing, why they're laughing, and if I know why they're laughing, I want to say something funny or be seen, right? And it's not there, so. Sort of like the deep, meaningful conversations. I want to get more involved with that. So I think if you're planning on staying here for a long time, I think it's a very important thing to do, is to learn the Chinese. Not only to get to know your family better, but also when you get older, you want to be part of the community. And you want to go out and you have some friends, local friends, and can hang around, and you're not going to be isolated, just to grow more in the culture, right? Mm-hmm.
Other than teaching English, what else do you do?
When I got here 18 years ago, I worked for the company Hess, and after about 2 years, I was like, okay, now it's I want to see more of Taiwan, and you had to work on the weekends at first, so I only had Sunday off, so I couldn't really travel Taiwan or anything. So I said to them, And then while this was happening, a friend who was working as the general manager, he's actually the owner of the Brass Monkey, he came up to me and said, "Hey Greg, you're great outside. We need somebody to help lift up this company, which is a nightclub here in Kaohsiung, and we would like to hire you as the general manager." And I was like, getting out of teaching? Of course, I'd love to do that, right? But the company was too far down, and I couldn't save it. Well, so anyway, it shut, and I went back to South Africa, and I was there for about 4 months. I was like, I need to go back to Taiwan, man, I miss it so much. And I came back to Taiwan, and that same guy phoned me and asked me if I would interview for the Brass Monkey in Taipei, and I did, and I got the job. And then unfortunately at that stage of time, I was still young and naive and stupid, and I decided to go and celebrate my new job in Taipei, and I drove home at about 5 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, and I had a head-on collision with a car, and my helmet came off, smashed my face, and I woke up 2 months later in the hospital. Not remembering who I was, because I damaged my frontal lobe in my brain. So I woke up and I was like, where am I? I knew I was Greg Haxton, but I did not know what was going on. Since then, from my recovery, I had a year recovery, went back to South Africa for that, and then I came back to Taiwan again because I had a mission and a vision. I had overcome my depression and the hard part that I went through in my life, and I decided to come back to Taiwan and give that to people that need it, right? Especially the foreign community in this country, because there's a lot of things that can make you feel alone in this country. And Hackstrong is my charity's name, is the organization that's your family here in Taiwan. So we try to be your family away from your family. So I've been doing that, and then obviously that's not paying me any money. So I went back to teaching, and I have been promoted to supervisor. So I teach and I supervise one of the schools over here.
The accident was between you and the Taiwanese, right?
Yes.
Did you get all the, let's say, the rights and privileges that you're supposed to have?
Yes, I did. It was a very smooth thing that happened. I woke up, and obviously at that stage I was still trying to figure out what was going on. Even to this day, I don't have any memory of the accident. But I was told that I needed to go to court and I needed to leave Taiwan for drinking and driving. And I just need to say that at this stage, I think it's from my character, I wasn't worried about those kind of consequences, because what I was worried about is that I actually had the thought of driving through a town drunk and not giving a thought about anybody else. I mean, I could have killed somebody, I could have, like, luckily I hit a car and I didn't hit people, or I didn't hit somebody on a motorbike, maybe a family on a motorbike or something. So I feel very, very blessed about it. And the reason why I'm telling you about this is because in Taiwan I went into the court and she said to me, da, 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 da. And at this stage I've had a lot of surgeries, a lot of money has been raised for me and paid for these surgeries, but there's still a long way to go. And I just said to her, look, I will face whatever consequences you want to, and I apologize for my actions. And I guess I was blessed, because she ruled that I'd have to pay 75,000 for my accident, which is the minimum amount for something at my level. Mm-hmm. And that I had to leave Taiwan, but I could come back in the future, depending on what I would like to do. And this was a girl. She was a young student. And this was her third drinking driving mishap. So she had come into the hospital when I had started recovering, when I say I had signed, I guess I thought I had signed something, because she had asked me not to sue her and any and I was like, obviously I had my family, my girlfriend, and close mates there to, okay, Greg, it's fine, kind of thing. So I signed it. I remember at some stage in the court, the judge talking to her, and she just dropped her head, and I think it'll strike 3 for her. I'm not too sure what happened to her in the end, but yeah. But both of us were drinking and driving, and it was 5 o'clock in the morning, so the lights were flashing orange both sides, so we just gunned it, through there. And then when I had overcome my depression, my mission was to come back to Taiwan and start it. And the first year, we had a few events, raised money for cancer. There were people that were in accidents, things like that. Support. So Hackstrong is support for me. It's all about just support and being there for somebody, right? And so the second year we wanted to run it, someone said you need to be registered in order to raise money. And I said, otherwise you're going to get into trouble, we're going to throw you in jail. And I was like, oh, geez, okay. So I went through a long process of registration. I have some amazing people here, Taiwanese, American, English. I can go on and on. There's so many people that wanted to help this situation. And so, and that's another thing with Chinese, the lack of Chinese, I struggled so much just to understand exactly how to do it and what to do, right? Mm-hmm. But eventually we did register, and we were able to raise money legitimately, I should say, I guess. And we did that for a few years, and then unfortunately one case we raised about 400,000, and it was specified in the case that the money was going to go to a foreign guy a Canadian who got into an accident, and he needed to be flown back to Halifax. Mm-hmm. And a Medi-flight is like a couple of million, and then his ex-wife phoned and said, "Where's the money? I haven't seen any of the money." And I explained to her, it's for the flight back to Canada. At this stage, he had already passed. He had passed away in Canada. We had got him back, but unfortunately didn't make it. Mm-hmm. So she contacted a news agency, and they put me up on the TV and said, "Are these foreigners stealing money in Taiwan?" And my team was crying. We do so much hard work for nothing, and that's the kind of repayment you get. And it's understandable. People don't know us. Maybe we are like, oh yeah, this is the easy way to get money. But people that do know us, they're like, what, Mm-hmm. And I'm definitely not like that. And and so we decided. I just went to the team. I said, I'm taking away registration. I'm going back to the original, which is support and love. So in the last 4 years, that's what I've been doing. We get a lot of foreigners messaging us and asking for support and direction. So we're sort of like a bridge, mm-hmm. A direction we can give foreigners here.
Instead of directly raising funds for them. Yeah.
And if they need money, we will still, because I have a lot of connections with clubs and bands and people that you like to do activities. They will come and do it, mm-hmm. but the money doesn't go to Hackstrong. It goes to the family or directly to the person, right? So it doesn't go through us. It goes from their hands to their hands, so there's no problem, right?
Okay, all his links will be in the description below. If anyone wants to check him out or want to support, you can check the links out. What stands out most about Taiwan compared to the other Asian countries?
The people, man. 100% the people. I just love it, man. These, if you had to ask me cultural differences, I think the one thing about the Taiwanese people is that they do actually care a lot about other people, or people that they don't know. They will always go out their way to help. This is from my perspective and what I've experienced in the 18 years here. And they're always very friendly, and they're always, they're nice. One story I can tell you is that I remember when I started running again, I was told I would never walk again, but now I'm running. I just ran a marathon last year, so you can do whatever you feel you can do it, man.
Do it, yeah.
And the power of the mind is so incredible. And I went for training around one of the parks, and I'd taken my wallet out and put it on my bike seat, not knowing I did it. And I went for a run, and I got back 50 minutes later, and there was an old man sitting on my bike. And I was like, oh, what's this guy doing here? And he put the wallet in my hand, and with the understanding of the Chinese that I understood, he was saying that I had run off and left my wallet on the seat of my bike. And he waited for 50 minutes for me to get back to give me the wallet. Just things like that, man. It's just like, that's one example of so many little things. And it just, as a human, those kind of things are just, we need more of that in this world, man. And Taiwan gives that to you. Life is very, very easy. Not very easy. Life is never easy, but Taiwan gives you a chance to be you, right?
Yeah. Okay, if you are to introduce any South African culture to Taiwanese, what part of South African culture would you like to introduce?
I would definitely go to the sporting side. I'm a big sportsman. If you could call that cultural, not really. But food-wise, uh, we have this thing called a braai, right? You guys call it a barbecue, well, Americans call it a barbecue, you call it a barbecue. We have this braai, which is we basically just meat. It's just we love eating meat. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess in a sense this sort of links to the culture because we have these braais, and we have rugby, and we have soccer, and whenever these activities are happening, we will get together and we'll just praise our country, and it's like all different races. We are very diverse, black, white, colored, Indian, Asian. We've got 11 languages in our country. It's very, very diverse. It's very, very big, and a thing like a braai could go a long way. It's not Friday for us, it's Braai Day. So every Braai Day we come together as a people and we celebrate it. And I do know, I did order some boerewors, which is the kind of sausage that we cook. And I took it to my kids and I was so excited, and the reactions like killed me, man. They were like, I was like, come on guys, that's the best sausage you've ever tasted.
If you had to change anything in Taiwan, what would it be?
Taiwan's a beautiful place, but everything is never perfect. Not anything is perfect, right? For me, from the accident and through my journey through the accident, which is a whole different story, the one thing I did pick up, and I can sort of tell you from a perspective from other foreigners I know, because what I do is I support foreigners, right? And the one big thing about this country is saving face, and people don't really talk about their problems that they have in their heads. I guess the best I could say, psychiatry versus psychology. In South Africa, you have both, right? Psychiatrist will give you medication to fix your head, but a psychologist will give you direction and talk you through things. Psychology doesn't exist here for foreigners. I don't know too much about Taiwanese, but I don't think it's a big thing here, right? But I do remember when I got back in 2012, I was seeing psychologists in South Africa, and so I looked everywhere for psychologists here. And I remember one of my Taiwanese friends took me to a hospital psychiatrist, and she sat in the room to help translate. And I told them, I'm struggling to do this charity and help people because I've got so many people that need help, and I'm struggling, and what can I do? And I remember he stood up clapping, and he said, "Oh, Hackstrong, so good. You're a good person." And I was like, "Yeah." He said, "No, hey, you are very good. Good job." And I was like, "Yeah. I know. I want to continue doing it, but I need." And he's like, "Oh, I give you these pills, and you can you have a good night's sleep, and this and this and this." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." I was like, "Sir, thank you so much. I appreciate that." And I took the stuff and I left, but I was still empty. I still needed somebody to talk to, right? And I feel like that does miss here in Taipei. I think there might be some. Well, actually, I know there are some institutions there that help foreigners, but especially the other cities like Kaohsiung, Taichung, they lack on that. This is where Hackstrong is meant to stand in, right? It's meant to be there to make you not feel alone, because I can sense it, and I had it, and it's the worst feeling in the world, man, to be alone. And that's what we, I don't like to say is what we as Hackstrong try to bring here is, you can message me at 2 o'clock in the morning and I will talk to you. And it's just something that I think is needed. And it's a cultural difference, right? Thank you for Taiwan for opening their doors. And I know they will get there at some stage.
One would say, after going through all these hard periods in Taiwan and you left, why come back to Taiwan?
I think the original idea was, before my accident, I used to play in bands, I used to run the nightclub, everybody knew me, I was just a very social person. And when I woke up, I'd lost that personality, and I wanted to find that old Greg, because I didn't know anything else, right? I'm the new Greg now, but I had to work at this. But I had to find the old Greg, I wanted to be the old Greg, right? So I went back to South Africa to get away from here, and also I had to leave. And then I tried to find the old Greg. And I remember walking out and getting in the car with my brother and just saying, man, I need to go back to Taiwan, because now I have a mission, right? I have a mission. I mean, all that love and that support that people have given me for the last year, there are people in this world, in this country, that don't have a voice and might get into a predicament like me, and I need to be that person that can help them through those times, right? And that's why I came back to Taiwan. And also, Taiwan's just beautiful.
Okay.
I think
Do
it's
you have
close.
anything else to tell Taiwanese people?
Taiwanese people and all people, I guess. I guess I didn't speak a lot about my accident, but I did impact my life quite a lot. And what I like to tell people is that through my accident, I learned that your mind is such a powerful thing. I mean, I lost an eye. Thank God I've got one eye still, I can still see. But I lost an eye, so that was depth perception. I lost the use of my legs in the first stages. And I was a sportsman, and over a period of time, I started realizing that your mind starts adjusting and starts trying to fix you in a certain way, in a way to make you better, right? When I was able to start walking by myself and then eventually running, moving on to half, like 2 half marathons a week, onto a marathon, onto whatever, I knew I could do anything. But before all of that stage, before all of that, I was in Taiwan, back from South Africa after my rehab, and I was still depressed. And the lack of psychology and the lack of talking to somebody, I realized, there are so many people out there, Taiwanese people, foreign people, that were helping me through my hard time. And I was like, okay, you know what? My mind's telling me if I want to fix it, I am the only one that can fix it, right? Mm-hmm. And I would be awesome. When I say be awesome, I mean be you. Be yourself. Go out there, do something that you want to do, see something that you want to see. Everything is possible. So go out there, do that, and then go to bed and get some good sleep. Wake up in the morning, do the exact same thing again. And I promise you, with being awesome during the day, the more sleep you're going to get at night. And that makes a whole big difference to your life. And this is where I am today. And I will continue preaching that.
All right. Thank you very much, and hope you continue to prosper here in Taiwan.
感谢你们的支持，但是还有很多人还没订阅，请不要忘记订阅、按赞、开启小铃铛，你们的支持是我们的动力，谢谢大家。